Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another Wednesday recording. If you're a subscriber, thank you so much. It's encouraging to see that people are subscribing and sticking with it, and I'm hoping that that's because the posts are blessing you. If you're a newbie, thanks so much for stopping by. If you like what you're hearing, consider subscribing. And everybody, hit that like and share. You never know who else it could bless. So thanks a lot. So here we go. This particular talk comes from Luke 6:46 through 49. So I'm going to go ahead and read the verses and then get into the little spiel about it. A lot of this that's coming from this has to do with, or it applies to my online course, Guilt to Grace, A Journey to Self-Forgiveness, if you're interested. But let's start with the Bible verses first. But why do you call me Lord, Lord, and not do the things which I say? Whoever comes to me and hears my sayings and does them, I will show you whom he is like. He is like a man building a house who dug deep and laid the foundation on the rock. And when the flood rose, the stream beat vehemently against that house and could not shake it, for it was founded on the rock. But he who heard and did nothing is like a man who built a house on the earth without a foundation, against which the stream beat vehemently, and immediately it fell. And the ruin of that house was great. So what the Home and Study Bible says about these particular verses is that the difference between a life that can withstand spiritual storms and one that cannot depends not just on whether one comes to Christ and hears his words, but also whether one acts on his teachings. And that's the part that applies a lot to my course, Guilt to Grace, A Journey of Forgiveness, because when you have a lot of guilt, you have a lot of unforgiveness for yourself. You have a lot of uncompassion for yourself. You have a lot of self-blame for yourself. You have a lot of negative talk for yourself. And all of that produces stress. And all of that is a burden that you end up, that you're carrying, okay? Stress and burdens, here we go again. Stress and burdens like that can do a lot of damage. Not just physically, but emotionally, mentally. Stress is it. I've heard stress called a silent killer. And I know a lot of people who think stress is just a part of life. But stress isn't meant to be a part of life. You have to understand that you weren't meant to carry this burdens like this alone. Chronic stress, it comes from you trying to solve things or trying to do life without involving God. And I know, because for those of you that have been with me for a while, you've heard me talk about a particular time where I spent months trying to figure something out. Months. Everything I tried didn't work. I had sleepless nights. I had exhausted days because I wasn't sleeping. I would cry myself to sleep, or I would toss and turn. I was difficult to live with during the days because all this was going on. And when I finally, ding, ding, okay. And I knew this, I don't know why I figured I could do God a favor and take care of it myself, I guess. But when I finally said, okay, I'm being stupid. I'm not just being stupid. I'm being harmful to me. Okay. When I finally said, okay, Lord, everything I've tried, when I basically gave it to him, broke down crying, gave it to him. Nothing seems to be working. I can't figure it out. Everything I try to do, doors shut, our doors never open. Please, Lord, it's yours. Take it. I should have given it to him a long time before that. And the physical harm that it did, okay, the mental, the physical, the social, whatever, the emotional harm, it wasn't good. And it lasted a long time. And I told you that I'm still kind of, you have to deal with it day by day, step by step. But it comes, like I said, that kind of stress comes from trying to do things without involving God. And that's the same thing back there in those verses. He says, he who heard and did nothing is like the man who built the house on the earth, okay, without the foundation. When the stream beat against it or the storm beat against it, what happened? It fell. Okay, so my storm beat against me, I finally fell. Thank God when I fell, I had the safety net because I said, I'm not going to fall to that point. I'm on my knees, Lord, please take this, okay? And how did I do that? Well, it was what I call a talking prayer. I didn't start out with, Lord, the normal prayer. It was like, I surrender. I give it to you. I don't know what to do. I can't figure it out. Lord, it's in your hands. And when you think about it, prayer is a detox. It's a spiritual detox for stress, because what I did and what you do is you make an exchange. I'll give you my worry, Lord. I'll give you these issues. I'll give you this problem. I'll give you my pain. Okay? I'll give you my unforgiveness, whatever it is. Okay? I'll give you my self-blame. I'll give you all my critical, negative thoughts, all those ugly things I say about myself. I'll give those to you, Lord. And you give it to him, and he says, I give you my peace. So it's this divine exchange where you give him all this garbage, all this weighty stuff that hurts you so much and weighs you down so much. And what does he do? He gives you peace. He gives you peace. So, if you're in that situation where you've got all that stuff in here, and it's eating you up alive, it's making you sick, there's a ton of things negative that it can do, unhealthy things for you. Make that divine exchange. And if you're interested, and it's a journey that you need a little bit of guidance on, and you're interested, you can always You can message me on Facebook. You can email me. It's Garcia Christine Gale for now at gmail.com. And, I can tell you the course is, I have one more module. I have one more module to do, and it will be pretty much done and ready to put out there. But you weren't meant to carry those burdens. You weren't not alone. You weren't meant to carry them alone. Okay, you weren't. That's a life that's doing without God. It's not a life that's doing with God. Okay, so thanks for listening. I hope it helps. Like I said, you can always comment here in these with this video. So I again hope it glorifies God, but if it glorifies God, it's going to bless you. So thanks for listening. Have a blessed rest of your day, and see you next week. Bye.